at the Apollo. All right, y'all. We are over here laughing backstage. Sorry, we got carried away with the time. All right, all right, all right. So, welcome to 2026. This is Ask Me Anything for Business live with the Us Space. And I'm so excited to be here for our first one of the and with somebody that you have seen on the Us Space Lives from time to time. He's over here in the back on backstage, like saying hi to y'all. It's not even his turn yet. But go ahead and start guessing and liking who the guest is in the comments if you didn't already catch the ads and everything. Again, welcome in. This live is all about real conversation between business owners, sharing what we've learned, what we're building, and how we can grow together. You know me, my name is LaGina R. LaGina Ray, just depending on what year and what date you knew me. Don't call me Gina unless you know how to spell my name and capitalize it properly. But he's over here. You're making me laugh. We can't do this anymore. But again, welcome in. I'm so excited to have you here. This week at the Us Space, we are celebrating our third year, moving into our third year of moving into our space at 808 Travis here in downtown Houston, the fourth largest, maybe third largest city in the country. Super excited about it. And we have 3 free days of co-working. Yes, I said free. We are in day 2 and people are in here in the conference room and plugging in and powering up in different areas just to catch Tuss vibe and understand that we're really about economic development, business education, visibility, community, all the good jazz. So it would make sense that the guest we have on today is for that. Another thing that we have going on, make sure you book a tour if you want a tour, because the Us Space is an intentional hub of connection, collaboration, and business growth, as I said. Now, the Us Space has some crazy, amazing partners, and one of our partners is the Ensemble Theater. If y'all didn't know, there is a full-on Black-owned theater company that is 50 plus years old here in downtown Houston. And the Us Space, we do Tuss nights out at the theater for every production, and we are going to see The Bluest Eye, the Toni Morrison thing. We're going to see The Bluest Eye on February 12th, which is this Thursday. And if you want to join us, we have a discount code. So all you have to do is go to Ensemble Theater, Google it, or if you're already following them on Instagram, go over there, click, and use the discount code capital T, capital U, capital S, no spaces, and the number 10. And you'll get a little discount off your ticket. Meet us there again, February 12th. We get there about 6:30. And if you're with Tuss Nights Out, we do something a little special. We have a little snack, a little wine. And then we also have an interactive activity with some of the folks over there at Ensemble Theater, because it's all about connecting and community and being visible and learning more about the things that are in our backyard. Okay. Last thing, we have Work Accountability Day every third Wednesday of every month. We've been doing that. It's our longest running program. And the next one is next Wednesday, February 18th. We have a Lunch and Learn with another one of our partners, Pearland Innovation Hub. They're going to be hosting the next Lunch and Learn. And it's one of my favorite topics about networking. So come out, register for the Work Accountability Day, and then also register for the Lunch and Learn. And again, plug in and power up. All right, y'all. So without further ado, I'm going to bring this gentleman to the stage, this member to the stage. He's over here ready, queued up, like, LaGina, bring me on. I'm going to introduce him while he's on stage so we can see his flex, a little flex. So Akeel, like put the name on it correctly. He's too polite to.
If you're saying it correctly, it's Akeel.
Akeel.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say it's too polite to correct people except for me. Okay, fair. Okay, so he is a community engagement strategist, an ecosystem builder, and a certified coach. Now, Akeel, we're gonna tap into that a little bit later because A certified coach is different than just saying you're a coach. And really you help people, organizations, communities navigate change and growth. So that's simple. But I'm going to hand the mic over to you. And I want you to tell me, and this is something I do with founders all the time, like just tell me in plain words what you do, who you help, and what kind of impact you care about the most.
I love that. So, hey, everybody, again, Akeel Bernard. And what I do, I hold space for people to work through challenging things in their life. As a coach, I hold space for a multitude of different things. But my passion point is really helping small business owners and nonprofit leaders to really move forward with intentionality. A lot of small business owners, a lot of nonprofit leaders, they're doing amazing things, but they don't take the time to really take care of themselves and to pour into their cups. So I like to say I hold space to pour into the cups of those that pour into others. So that's kind of my calling. That's what I feel like I've been placed here to do. So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the members at the US space align with that amplification, aligning people, making sure they're pouring into their own self-worth and their cups, as you're saying. And as I was one of your speakers for fuck up nights, that's what I said. I said, where's my cup? Where's my cup? Where's my cup? That was like my mic drop moment. So yeah, let's dive into a little bit more. So let's do a quick icebreaker because I want people to get to know you. I think that one of the things as an ecosystem builder and like a community leader is sometimes after a while, sometimes people don't think you're approachable or they see you on stages so much that, again, it's the approachability. And I think one of the really cool things in Houston and just any ecosystem I've been in is that everybody's pretty much approachable and it's really around like a mindset and everything. So let's do, what's one conversation skill that every business owner, in your opinion, should really like master or become a thought leader in or put it in their tool belt?
That's such a layered question, but I got the answer because I'm always talking about this, and it's being able to listen. I think a lot of business owners are so used to like speaking about what they do and the intended impact that they make, and they oftentimes forget to really listen. They forget to ask really powerful questions of the people that they're providing a service or a product to, and really listen. And not just listen to respond or to defend what it is, they're building or producing, but to really listen and respond to make whatever they're doing better. So I think listening.
Hold on one second, because it's saying we're not seeing a live. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the live either. Let's see. It says we're live.
Yeah, I see live on my end.
But on Instagram?
No, I'm not on Instagram. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, no. I'm making sure because the Instagram's not showing up live. Is there a delay in it, maybe?
I checked both of y'all's pages.
Yeah, because yours isn't coming up either.
Love it. Real time troubleshooting. Love it.
Yeah. Hashtag being an entrepreneur means you got to be IT too. Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Until you can afford the whole team to make the whole production. I guess.
And look, okay, here we go. Oh yes! Shout out to Krishayla on our team for being like, y'all are talking, and I can see you, but I can't hear you. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit because I know y'all, if you were over there peeping us on YouTube, you're seeing us and feeling us and everything else, but we got a little lost on the IG. So we're going to rewind a little bit and just, talk a little bit more about AMA. So again, AMA, Ask Me Anything, Business Lives. It's really around business owners helping business owners, true conversation. My name is LaGina R. Harris. I am the founder of the Us Space, and we do these once a month. Scratch December and January with a member, and this is our first one of the year. I've got Mr. Bernard in the house, and we're really just tapping into who we are, who he is, and how we're approaching business. We're still in the icebreaker, so we're still good to go. If you missed the beginning of the live, just go over to our YouTube page and you can tap in to all the happenings at the Us Space. But okay, so for me, you know what? I feel like the one conversational skill that I think that business owners should master is understanding your level of social awkwardness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one for me, because what I think when you think of social awkwardness, I think people take that as a bad thing. And when I speak about networking and the real breakdown, I talk about using those kind of things as your superpower, because if you lean into your awkwardness, you're always going to find somebody else that has some quirky thing that makes it a moment where you can turn it into a conversational skill.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm laughing because we've been in community space a lot over the top of the year. And so I came up with this one.
Mm-hmm.
If 2026 theme, if your 2026 had a theme, and you just think about it in its totality so far, what would the title of that be? What would your title be right now? Just a theme.
What would my title be? That's such a good question. I would go with. Can I cuss on here?
Come on, it's me. It's the Us Space. Come on.
Okay. It would be what the fuck? It is really what it would be. I ain't gonna hold you, because I started the year on kind of a rocky pace, but then things started going really good. Then things kind of dipped. Then it started going good again. And I'm like, damn, I just need some consistency. But I think it's because I am being pivoted into directions, and I've been fighting against the pivot, if that makes sense. Like I've been being pulled in this direction of like, go here. And I'm like, no, but I want to be over here. And every time I disobey where I'm supposed to go, it falls apart. And then I'm standing there like boo-boo the fool, like, what the fuck?
Not boo-boo the fool. Look, I always say this about my niece, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it my title for 2026. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. Let's go.
I like that.
Don't start. No. Oh, be no. Yeah, no, I think that 2026 has come in heavy and hot, and I don't care who you are and what aspect. It's a whole thing. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. You just got to learn to listen.
They're serious.
Yep,
they're so serious. Okay, we have people starting to tap in on IG. Sorry, y'all, for having you not tap into the beginning. But again, you can check it out on YouTube if you want to see the very beginning. But we're all up in the icebreakers. So the next one I have is, what's one thing leaders misunderstand about community engagement or culture? And I'll jump in while you're thinking about it. I think one thing that leaders misunderstand about community is that you can have an idea about what a community is going to be and what it's going to look like. But just like your target audience, once your community speaks to you, your idea goes out the window. If you are a true community leader and ecosystem builder, like you can build it and you can say who's going to be there, but when people come, they're speaking to who wants it, who needs it, and who wants to engage with it. And I say that from the avenue of the Us Space, but also all the other spaces that I'm in and the things I'm doing.
Yeah.
For me, misunderstood about community is that one. Misunderstood about culture is not the same as ethnicity and race.
Absolutely.
Culture is a whole different thing. And I think culture is one of those things that you can tie into community, because communities have their own culture. And I think engagement shouldn't be forced. Those are mine.
Those are so good. I wish I had one first. I could use some of those. So what do leaders mistake about community? I think what I've learned over time is that people that are building community oftentimes don't understand that sometimes the community that you're building is not necessarily for other people. It's sometimes really much for you because you've been looking for something, and then they tie it up and, well, I built this community for you, instead of saying, no, I built this community for us. And they have a separation in that. Like, I built this for you, so why are you not showing up? I built this for you, so why, instead of saying, I built this for us, and I really want to know how I can make it better for us, how I can make it feel more useful to us. You know what I mean? And I think that is a mistake that I've seen so many people make in building community. They just they approach it like, I've just built this for other people. And then if you lean into it and you really share that I also built this for me, and here's why, you're more likely to have more people gravitate towards it because it's grounded in authenticity.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking about me, so thank you. Because it's even in the name, right? Us, like
Mhm.
the original reason why the Us space came about is because I saw a need and it's something I wanted, and then I started talking to people and it's something that they said they wanted. And
Mhm.
so it's not something I built for everybody else. I built it for us literally because when people are like, what is your vision for the Us space? Depending on who it is, I'll be like, bro, I'm just trying to be a member. I'm just trying to sit in the cut and
Yeah.
use the space. So
And you do that. You're very much in the space, utilizing the space. You're not like in a closed off corner. You're like in the threads of it because the space was built for you as well as everybody else. And I think people feel that. That's one of the things, people gravitate towards. So absolutely.
yeah, cool, cool,
Um,
cool.
the
That
other
nap room
thing,
wasn't created for anybody but me.
see, you got to build spaces that, feel homey. The
Yeah.
other question was, what do I think leaders misinterpret around culture, correct? Is that the
Culture and
question?
engagement. It's all one question, but like those are the three parts is community, culture, and engagement.
I think, to build on your point, I think a lot of people have a perception of what culture is. And when they meet other people that are outside of their culture, they oftentimes don't lean in with curiosity. And then they lean in with a sense of ignorance at times of like, well, this is what we do. Why is things different there? Instead of leaning into like, help me understand how things are different where you're from. Like, I'm from a whole different country. I'm from a whole different, upbringing. And I I consider myself a culture bearer for where I'm from because I'm so proud of where I'm from. But a lot of people have never really stepped outside of their comfort zone. So they only know the culture that brought up, they've been brought up to know, which is the culture within the first maybe 2 or 3 generations of where they're
Mm,
at. They haven't leaned into where their lineage their lineage is from, or where their people are from, because then the conversation becomes a lot more adept when you start having those conversations. So I think people just really need to lean in with curiosity. I think that's the first thing is, let's have a conversation around just where are you from, who are your people, what do you all enjoy doing, and like what's the commonality that we have between us.
yeah. And even moreover, what are the differences that are fun, right? Like I always tell people I love meeting people from other cultures and befriending them because there's a party and some joy and some type
Hmm.
of celebration to be had at every given moment of the day. So
Absolutely.
that's another one. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Ask Me Anything.
Ask
The
me
the
anything.
the main part of this. So now we're to the main show. All right. So these questions have been like submitted ahead of time. Sometimes in common community, people will ask things. I'll kind of jot them down, and then some of these come from me directly.
Hmm.
And so let me say, let's start with this one. This one was submitted.
Hmm.
When business owners say they want community,
Hmm.
what do they usually mean? And what should they be building instead of just chasing following or followers? So when they're saying they want community, what do they really mean? And what should they be building instead of just chasing followers? Because we know that there's the bots and the people that do the pomp and circumstance. And I think you are especially with these new platforms that you have going as far as fuck up nights and everything, you're really leaning into this thing with uh, not followers, but for
Yeah.
realness.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's such a good question. That's a great question. I will say, as somebody who has served as a community catalyst in the ecosystem and like is always at the core of the conversation around community, I don't think a lot of people really know what they mean when they say I want community, because then you ask deeper layered questions, you go deeper, and they oftentimes don't have an answer. So I feel like, excuse me, I feel like that's such a layered question, and a lot of people don't know the answer. They have a perception of what they think they need when they say they want community. A lot of them want, to be seen. A lot of them want to be heard. A lot of them want to be valued. And they have the perception that that's going to come from being within the community, which is true. But it's always, I need this, I need this, I need this, instead of what do I bring to the community as well. Because as much as you are taking from the community of things you need, I think it's really important for you to also talk about what you're bringing to our
Hmm.
community so that it's an even exchange. And I think a lot of people, they equate community to financial support or bodies in seats when they have programming or when they have, something that they want to test. And it's deeper than that. When you say you want community, what I hear is you want people around you that are like-minded, that are going to challenge you to become a better version of you, and that you can also challenge them to become a better version of them, so that you all are growing together and not in silos. So, I think it's a layered question, and I think a lot of people are figuring it out now, as communities being attacked in different spaces and being warped into different things. I think we're actually now starting to learn what community is for a lot of us. And I think that's the beginning of something beautiful for sure.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I feel like community is a feeling as well, right?
Hmm.
Like somebody can shout community all day, but if you walk in or you step into a space or you log on and you don't feel it, it deters what's being said and what's going on. And that's something I'm very mindful of. And I think of something you said earlier, and just even as founders, I always advise founders because of my knucklehead self, is that customer discovery is ongoing, especially when you're building community, and not in the way of like discovering new customers, but like as you're, for us members, our collective, like I give feedback in real time on the floor. You've seen it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. Let me fix that.
I've
Or
experienced it.
you've experienced it, right? Like, and after a while, it doesn't even, it stops even feeling like taking it on the chin
Hmm.
versus understanding and being like, okay, cool, let's fix that. Or, okay, cool, let's figure this out. Or, hell no, like that can't happen, because if we do that, we can't stay open. So I
Absolutely.
love that you say that, because I think that all of those things equate to um, building community. Is also the people that you're bringing into the community, the people seeking community also have to be wanting to pour into the community, because that's what community is. It's not,
Hmm.
it's not a location, it's not a person, it's not a thing, but it is people and movement and the cosmic, sector of it, if you will.
And everybody can be part of the community. It's just what it is. As much as you would want everybody to be part of it, some people are just not built to be a part of what you're building because they are not aligned with what you're building. And we have to be okay with saying, hey, this community was built and we are inclusive and we want you here, but only if you want to be here. And only if
Yep.
you're adding to what we're building. If you're taking away from it, then I'm sorry, but you got to go, because we're building and you are deterring us from becoming as great as we can be. And I
Yep.
think
Yep.
that's something, that's a conversation a lot of people are not ready to have, right? It's like, are you ready to be part of this community or not? And if you're not, come back when you're ready. We're not saying don't ever come back, but come back when you're ready.
You know what? I always say everybody can't go. Everybody cannot go. Which, it's facts. Okay, this one's from me. how do you build trust fast,
Mm.
especially when you're in a new space, leading a team or trying to rebuild after a hard season, right? And that
Yeah.
comes from, I've been working with a lot of business owners lately in their pivoting. These new seasons are coming up, whether people are losing funding or grants or clients are shifting to other things. And so they're in an uncertain place. And it even came up today with my mentee. She was like, well, how do you get that larger contract? How do you build trust? And I was like, man, you got to say stuff with your chest out, 10
Mhm.
toes down, and don't blink, because, people want to work with people that are exuding confidence, and it comes in all different forms. But yeah, that's my question to you. How do you build trust fast, especially with all these things going on?
Yeah, I would say I'm in that stage myself, right? And just kind of walking that thin line between vulnerability and authenticity, because you don't want to put all your cards out on the table and say, "Hey, this is who I am," because then you could be taken advantage of, right? But you want to have a nice balance of, "Hey, I'm showing up. This is my true authentic self. This is what I have to offer. This is what this is my intended impact in the world. This is the change that I want to bring about." But I also understand that it's not the easiest thing to do. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's a hard, yeah. And a lot of people, they avoid that conversation. And I think the more people are able to sit and have that conversation around, like, hey, I don't think entrepreneurship is for me. Or, hey, I might need that 9 to 5 so that I can funnel the money into my entrepreneurial endeavor. Like, those conversations are very, very important. So it's a fine line that you have to walk between being vulnerable and sharing, things that, people will relate to, and then also bringing your true authentic self to the space. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs that I've met, and they walk around like, oh, I'm that person. And a part of you needs to be like that,
You
but a
need
part of,
confidence.
yeah, you need confidence, but you also need to have reality of like, yo, I have
You're
spent
not.
all of my money and I am struggling, you know what I mean? But I have confidence and I have belief in myself. So I think it's a fine line that people need to walk. And I'm walking that line right now. Like, I know what I can bring to the table, but my life has changed over the past year. You know what I mean? I'm a dad now. I'm no longer just focusing on me and my wife. I'm focusing on me and my wife and a little one. And if you have kids, it's expensive. You know what I mean? Daycare, the things, and you want your kids to have nice things. You want them to have things, want them to be in the gymnastics and the track or whatever. She's not there yet, but I
I was
want.
like, wait, we put my niece in gymnastics already.
She's in
Wait.
swimming. She's in swimming. Little Robbie's in swimming, and that's our time together. So, it's just you got to prioritize, yourself, but you also got to prioritize, the people around you that are dependent on you, and that requires walking that line between vulnerability and authenticity. That's
Yeah.
just that's my 2 cents. I'm getting off my soapbox.
That's your humble 2 cents. All right, y'all. My name is LaGina. I am the founder of the Us Space. We are doing AMA, Ask Me Anything Business. We do this once a month with a member or a member partner. And we are in the Ask Me Anything phase with Akeel Bernard, one of our members and a coach that does life coaching. And we're just sitting here talking about the real stuff that comes up in business, and a couple tips and tricks and reality of things going on. And we're really leaning into like ecosystems and community right now. So if you have questions or comments, make sure that you drop them, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram Live. We are here. And something that you said that really hit home, that made me write this down. You remember that phrase, like, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go far or something, it's in community. I don't have the exact quote, but that I always think about that, because you can go fast doing things, and it usually needs to be alone. And I think as a business owner, you have to have the discernment of when that's needed and when it's not. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think there are times you need to put your head down and do something as the founder of the CEO, and it's alone, but you got to be careful about not diving into silos, not doing too much work from home, because our brains can trip us out and talk us out of some phenomenal things. I actually watch the TV show Alone, where they drop you off in the middle of like cold places and like Alaska and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd say about over 50% of the people that drop out of that show is not because they're prepared, but because they're alone, literally. And they start missing their families and community and all that good jazz. And for me, even when I wrote this question, I was like, oh, LaGina, I don't know if that's counterintuitive to what you believe, because for me, building fast isn't how I build. I'm like a Novocaine person. It may take a while to work, but when it does, it's going to work forever, or it's going to work as it's supposed to. And I really do feel like taking your time is very important. Again, I met with one of my mentees today, and she was like, well, how'd you get that contract? And I was like, I'm on year number X of cultivating this type of relationship. And after a while, people see your gears, see you working, see you moving, seeing that it's standing the test of time, or that you're really a thought leader in this. And then the opportunity comes up.
Yeah.
Position of being able to, say something with your chest out and 10 toes down and get some of those faster clients and contracts you need. And then there's also the test of time, because some people really do sit and watch for years. Hello, we've been here almost 3 years, and I still meet people almost every time I go somewhere that are like, oh yeah, I've seen y'all, I've been watching y'all. And I'm like, bruh, we here, 11,000 square feet. What you doing?
Up through, swing on through.
Yeah, swing on through. Okay, I have one more question. Let's see.
I may have lost you, LaGina. Are you still there? LaGina, if you can hear me, you are frozen, my friend. So while we wait for LaGina to come back. So yes. So she's Ask Me Anything is such a powerful activity, man. So like drop your questions. I'm excited to answer. A lot of people meet me and they ask me a lot of questions about community and things that I've done, and she's back.
Yes, you better take over.
I was entertaining. I was like, people ask me questions about all the things that I'm doing. The things, ask me some questions. I'm ready to answer.
Yeah. Oh man, I love my community, because I was like, I wasn't even worried. I was like, I was like, he's over here, he's got it. Okay, so I'm back. So the sub question before I ask my final question to you is around coaching, right? Because you're a coach, and in this world, I'm very careful when people are like, oh, you're coaching me. No, I'm mentoring, I'm doing consultation, I'm even advising sometimes. But once I found out that there are people that get certifications in coaching, I'm mindful of that. So break it down for people, because maybe there's somebody out there that wants to be a coach or needs a coach like you.
I appreciate the platform, man. So I'll tell you the honest to God truth. Like before I actually got certified as a professional coach, I was one of those people. But because I was in a role, and the role was called cafe coach. It was at my time at Capital One, and it was a leader that kind of built a bridge between leading his people and then also inspiring his people. So that's really where I got my first, fundamentals in coaching. But it's hard for you to become a leader as well as a coach. It's hard for me to tell you what to do and then also inquire about, what you should be doing without telling you to do it. It's a very slippery slope when you're trying to do both things, right? So when I stepped away from my role at Capital One at 10 years of service, I decided, I'm going to go enroll at the IPEC School of Coaching. And IPEC is the gold standard of coaching. Some people might disagree, but it's definitely
Yes, the gold standard. Don't glaze over that, Q.
it is the
You got
gold
the
standard.
gold standard of coaching.
And it's well expensive. I'm still paying for my credentials. So that's why I say it with my chest. It is the gold standard of coaching. And you basically rewire your entire brain. You're in this program for a year. You coach amongst your peers. They coach you. You coach them. Then you also coach outside of that. You coach people near and dear to you. But what you're really learning is how to ask powerful questions and how to lean into those questions without, it being anchored in judgment. So basically, when you go to a coaching program, they all sound the same, but what it is you're really doing is rewiring how you offer support, how you hold space for people, how you lean into the questions. I think I spend the majority of my time really improving how I ask questions and how I listen and what I can pull out of those questions. And then the tool belt is, okay, well, this activity helps us to do this easier, or this activity helps us to really get clear on this particular thing. So it really and truly is an amazing tool, and it has changed my life drastically. Like, I've benefited from coaching. I say coaching saved my life at a time when I was at my lowest. I worked with two people, a coach and a therapist, and between those two people, they definitely helped me to become a healthier version of myself, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. And therapists do all of the work underneath the surface. Coaches are those people. They're almost like light towers, if you can think of it. They're the beacon of, like, hey, I'm over here. I'm running this race with you. You're not doing it by yourself. But they're oftentimes, people mix up therapy and coaching a lot. So yeah, that's always something I have to clear up for people and help them get clear on.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because my brother Johnny on the other side, who's a therapist. I believe y'all spoke at the Melanin Minds Mental Health Conference 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the same panel. I can't remember, but he's a therapist. And sometimes he finds himself when he's talking to his friends, he's like, bruh, man, I tell them to slow down. They need to get their own therapist. And some of them need coaches and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just laughing about it. And also I'm like, while we're being transparent, I don't think I'm not going to be a coach because I'm judging you. I'm like, are you serious? Have you done that yet? Why haven't you done that? Who are you talking to? And, I also believe in not letting everybody have an opinion about you, what you're doing in your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to hold space and restraint as a media personality to do interviews a lot with my brand. So I'm not going to practice that level of restraint when I'm consulting. Because when consulting,
that's a perfect space for you, because that's how you show up, and that's what people need. But some people are some people need the underneath tuning of a therapist. Some people need the hand holding of a coach, and some people need the directness of somebody that's offering mentorship or consultancy. They're all three different lanes. They're all related, but they're three separate lanes. And I think each one of us, just imagine if somebody has you in a mentorship space, myself in a coaching space, and then a therapist in their space, and they're working
like
towards it. Yeah. Can you imagine how powerful that is to have a team of those people around you and you're moving in a one direction? Like, that's what I think a lot of business operators or business owners need to get to that point. It's like, who is on team such and such? Who's on team Akeel? Who's on team LaGina? And how are they working in tandem to get me to show up in the best possible way? Like, that is my wish for so many business owners out here.
I love that. Build a team. You've got to build a team. Yeah, I always tell people that within my mentoring circle, I have my team, because I do have, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. I have somebody I sit down with and do what I do for other businesses and do strategic planning and operations and logistical strategy stuff moving forward. I have somebody that just keeps me in the mindset that I'm a badass, even when people are like, oh, you're so confident. I'm like, I am, because I'm not going to take away from my power, but bruh, this
Take work.
takes work.
Uh-huh.
Like my late great sister Zenobia Viola Harris Bivens used to say, my Black girl magic takes work. Period. It's not something you get to throw on me as a tropes or anything else. Like, I have a team, it's built up and everything else. Okay, so the last question leading into it, because we'll go down a rabbit hole. What's one practice you recommend for leaders in 2026 to stay grounded and moving forward? And I think this is something that, we've spoke to each other about, and you're not only telling people this, but you're practicing it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Sit with yourself, man, and ask yourself really powerful questions. Like, is entrepreneurship for me? What type of entrepreneur do I want to be? And then the most important one is just like, am I really living the life that I desire to live? And like, is it everything that I imagined it to be, or is it a parts of it missing? And if whatever is missing can be filled, what are those things that need to be filled in there? Like, ask yourself those questions. Those are very layered questions. You know what I mean? And I'm also available for coaching. If y'all want to coach, I can ask those questions for you. But
I was about to say, like, just go get a coach. Just go get him.
But sit with yourself and ask yourself those questions, because and answer them honestly, like really, really dig deep, because entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And that's okay if you have something that you want to build and you're passionate about it, but maybe you're just not built for that. Maybe you're just supposed to be doing other things. And that's okay for you to say, okay, I did this, I loved it, I learned from it, but it's not for me. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only saying that because I've had those conversations with people over and over. And I'm like, listen, nobody's bounding you to this entrepreneur thing. It is not as easy as people make it seem. People are like, well, I'm just going to quit my job and work for myself.
It's so great.
Benefits, all of these things are real for some people. Also, some people look at them as shackles and they don't want a part of that. And I understand that. But like, some people leave their 9-to-5s to pursue this golden thing of entrepreneurship, and they get there and they're like, nobody told me how hard it was, and that I'm gonna have sleepless nights, and I'm gonna have no vacation time ever, and like, I'm not gonna be with my family because I'm so steady building this thing. There are things in there that you gotta explore. So sit with yourself and ask yourself, is this is what you really want? And then once you get the answer, lean into that and then ask more questions. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, what's the simplest first step someone should take this week?
This week, write it down. Ask yourself the question, write the answer down. Simple. If you don't write it down, you're going to forget. Write it down and do your writing, I would say, before you go to bed at night or the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. These are the two most powerful times to write anything down and to help bring things into full fruition. Those are your peak windows where, your chakras are most open before you lay down at night and when you wake up in the morning.
We're not going down that rabbit hole. Chakras and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of chakras, what are you enjoying about being at the US space, being an active member, bringing people into community?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff have you encountered?
I love the energy of the US space, and I love that the US space loves my little one as much as they love me. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm at the US space and Robin's with me, and like, I actually have time to take phone calls, do things, because she's with LaGina or she's with another member, and like, she's in good hands, she's chilling, she got her juice box, she got her snacks. And if you can love and protect my kid while I'm building the things that I need to do, that's a safe space for me, and that's a safe space for my family, and it's a safe space for my little one. And the US space is very much family grounded. It's grounded in family, and it feels like that. And that's one of the reasons I'm there, and that's why I love showing up there every week.
I love it too. I call her the little tumbler, because Robin and I will be in a meeting and she is literally rolling in my arms and doing what she wants. And no mind being paid by anybody that I'm either in the meeting with or on virtuals with. And, we're not a babysitting club, but I really do believe that like the things you need to move forward are simple acts of kindness and support. And your baby's chill, so it's not that big of it. It's
Yeah.
not that she's chill, she's cute, she's chocolate, she loves
Mhm.
to eat. Like my niece is doing good things. I love it. So it's an easy ask. Same thing. Sometimes I pick up my nephew and after school, he sits in one of the phone booths. He takes his tutoring, and he'll grab a snack out of the snack basket. I remember not this past summer, but the summer before when those straight winds came through downtown and people's power were out everywhere. We had members bring their kids up. We put them in 415 and made that into a kid zone for a little while, and people continued to work. So again, just like I wrote on that LinkedIn article about co-working space, and that's just a chapter in a larger book. We ebb and flow. We're not perfect, but we're doing it as it needs to be done for us.
And in
US
community.
community.
Mhm.
US unapologetic self-starter. All right, y'all. So Akeel, thank you. I know you are not feeling good. And typically we do these in person, but you hopped on and followed through. So I appreciate that. Thank you for today and sharing your real perspective. I wanted people to know you as you're transitioning and moving into different things, and understand that you coach, you're helping some nonprofits, and just so that you understand what you're doing is working. One of my clients had an event this past weekend. And I met one of your new clients. And so and she was talking about you, and I said something about the us space, and she had been to Tuss House, which is our activation we do around the time of Afrotech every year. And so it was just a really full circle moment because I was working within my private brand. She was talking to me and then mentioned one of my friends, you, and then she said something about the us space and said something about the membership and you and helping. And so just to let you know, because I think it's important that we provide each other not only criticism as a feedback, productive criticism, but also those love moments. So I'm glad I didn't tell you that before, but I wanted to say it for this moment so that you knew that the work you're doing is pulling through in cool ways.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I needed that because I have a meeting with her coming up pretty soon. And she asked to meet at the us space. So I'm going to have to push it to next week so I don't get anybody this little bug that I got. But we'll be in there. We'll see her again real soon.
Yeah, we got you. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow Akeel and the work that he's doing on his social media platforms. I popped it up there really quick. Stay connected to his coaching, his community engagement, and of course, the ecosystem here at the Us Space is always available. Plug in and power up. You can follow the Us Space and click on our link tree for anything that you want to know about the Us Space. Scan that QR code. It is super helpful. And come tap in. Come to a test night out with us at Ensemble Theater. Come do a work accountability day here every third Wednesday. Go.
Backup nights at the Us Space, February 26th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We have a full cast. They've been selected. They've been vetted. We have Laura O, reporter from The Defender. We have Peter Duran of Alpha Chimp. He is a scribe. And then we also have Seymour. I'm going to butcher his last name, but he is the co-founder of Wealth. So we have a pretty solid panel of people. So come through, show some love. And the Us Space members, y'all know the fam. We got the code for y'all. Y'all in there. So come out, show some love. Come kick it and hear from some real ones for sure.
Yes. So yeah, that's my last announcement on there is February 27th Fuck Up Nights. It will be here at the Us Space. Akeel is doing it, and he's doing this amazing job with Fuck Up Nights. So if you're not already tapped into that, make sure you are, because Fuck Up Nights are fabulous, and I love saying Fuck Up Nights because it's just a real place to be in. I'm so excited to see this one in particular. And all right, y'all, that's all I have. Until next time, this is LaGina. I am the founder of the Us Space, and this is Ask Me Anything Business with the Us Space. All right, Gil, thank you. And all right, see y'all next time. Bye. Peace.
You still there?